What's up, everybody? On this episode of the Boston Ski Party, we have Hunter Henderson. Hunter is a US Freeski Pro slopestyle team member and a Red Bull athlete. All right, so you want to just bring it a little bit closer. You'll want to talk closer than you think.
Okay, sounds good.
That's better.
There you go.
You too, AP. You're gonna want to be closer to the mic than you think you need to be.
Like this close?
Sure. If that's what you're into.
I like this.
All right.
Hear my voice.
Well, you can. That. Why are you being awkward about
No,
it?
I'm
Just
not, dude.
okay.
I'm perfect.
You don't know what to do with your hands.
I don't know what to do, dude. What do I do with these? Dude, this is my first time in the room too, bro.
Actually, no.
Just keep getting higher and higher.
Yeah. He'll be standing up on the table before this is done.
Yeah, how'd the podcast go?
Well, AP was standing the whole time because he didn't know what to do with his
He
hands.
likes elevated surfaces.
Yeah, this is your first. I mean, we've fucked around in here a bunch,
Well,
but
I've chopped it up with like the internal crew.
yeah. But this is your first. This is your first Boston Ski Party pod.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Well, technically, yes. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Well, you've never been on
I
the
feel honored.
feed, dude.
No, I haven't. No, yeah, I was waiting for you, bro. I was like,
Yeah,
whenever
thank
Hunter
you.
gets here, dude, we'll do it.
Yeah,
We'll
you'll,
start.
you'll hop in here.
He's been offered many times, but he was like, "No, if Hunter's
No, not
on
good
it,
enough.
yeah,
Not
That's
good
fine.
enough.
Yeah, yeah.
He's waiting for the right person.
About fucking time.
He was just waiting for a reason to serve me warm fucking Red Bulls. What are you trying to do?
I mean, I apologize for all that. I didn't realize that was, those were warm. These
Dude,
are ice cold.
I like Red Bull whether it's warm or cold.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Mine's almost hot.
That's,
I like it.
that's a good sponsored athlete right there.
Usually microwave mine before I drink it. That's how much I like it.
Are you gonna ask me this question, dude, or you save that?
Well, actually, I had a question for you, but I thought you were 21, but you're under 21. But I was gonna ask if you're contractually obligated to drink Red Bull vodkas anytime you're out, but
Like at a Red Bull event, no, I don't think so.
I mean, it's a
I
valid
think
question.
I think I'm legally obligated not to.
I got vodka in this right now.
It is Friday, dude.
I guess if you get a Whistler though, right? It's a different story.
Yeah, I think it's 19 there.
19?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Why is
Can't
it
wait
19?
to have my first beer.
No, 19 there, and then 18 in Quebec.
Right.
Yeah, it like
Yeah.
changes around depending on the province, I guess.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Like Alberta's 19 as well, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think Quebec is the only one that's 18. I think all the other ones are 19, which is why Quebec is probably the best, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah,
IMO.
it's a good time.
It's dope.
Montreal is a good time.
I feel like you're in
We were,
Europe,
we were
bro.
just talking about that.
Dude,
Oh,
AP
because
just-
Tate's going. That's why.
AP just had all these hot takes prepared for
For
the
today.
moment he got on the pod. Yo, honestly, Quebec is the best province. And I don't care who hears me say it.
I don't give a shit.
No, it actually is a good. Have you ever been to Montreal?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I haven't really been like downtown or spent much time downtown Montreal. We were up there. My sister and I went up there for a ski to east shoot in like mid-April to maximize, and they pushed like a really sick jump and had some unique rail features that we were hitting and shooting on. And it was really, really fun. But it's like, I mean, it's not far, so we just drove up there, but we didn't really get to spend much time in Montreal.
No, it's like surprisingly close.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah, it's surprisingly close.
It really is. And then when you get there, you're like, I can't believe I don't come here more.
Yeah.
It's that close.
Mm-hmm.
So where are you most of the time? Because you're originally from New Hampshire, right?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time I'm like in an airplane or in a car or something. But like this whole year, I've just been traveling so much. I would say I'm like based out of Park City now.
Okay.
My sister Grace and I both have a 2-bedroom. We have a 2-bedroom apartment in Park City. But I like to come home to New Hampshire like as much as possible in the summer, especially. But for the most part, I'm on the road. Like I would say I slept in my room in Park City probably like 20, 30 times this winter, maybe. Maybe.
It's a lot of road time, man.
Yeah.
Some serious road time. So whereabouts in New Hampshire are you usually from?
Durham, New Hampshire. Well, actually, Madbury, New Hampshire, but
Madbury.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like
No, I know Madbury.
Oh, really?
Because like I go to Southern Maine. I have a place in like near Sunapee.
mm-hmm.
And when I drive to like Algonquin, Wells,
Oh, yeah.
Kitimak area, like I'll just, instead of going down to back to 95 to back up, I'll just like get off it in Concord and like cut over.
Yeah.
And so that little cut over.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
drive
That's
right,
how
you drive right through Dover, Madbury, right?
Yeah, that's how I get on whatever the cutover is called. I don't even actually know, but it's like right next to my house. Like you probably drove right past my house if you've done that.
Yeah,
like
I probably have. Hey, I've done it like a bunch, and it kind of puts you like right in Kittery. So instead of like doing the
Yeah.
highway, dude, there's actually it's so funny that Madbury because like I've driven by it and I looked it up online a couple times. Like when my wife's in the car, but do you have that like haunted Overlord place?
Yeah, that's in Madbury.
Dude,
Wait,
That
what?
is the sickest, the sickest like Halloween experience I've.
but it's 12 months.
You could
all-
have.
It's 12 months, right?
No, I don't think.
Oh, it's
so.
not? Okay.
I don't think so. That would be so weird.
Well, because I looked it up and I'm like, oh, I think it's open all. It looks like it's open all the time. Like, maybe they go harder like in October.
Honestly, I could be wrong. But I have only heard of it being open like October.
Dude, it looks fucked.
You've never been?
No.
Oh my god, it's
What is it?
crazy.
It's like a haunted house?
It's like a haunted house on steroids, basically. It's like a haunted like tour, like walkthrough. You go on like this like crazy. It's probably like 20, 30 minutes. And you like walk around. I think you can like in your group you can like say like you want to be like.
It's like
Like
scared.
you can like pick how scared you want to be. Like they can like grab you or they can just like or like we had I'm from there, so like one of my friends' older brother's friends worked there.
Yeah.
And so they dressed up in the costume and stuff like that, and they would like to my sisters specifically, like he came up and was like, Grace, I'm gonna kill you.
Dude, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And she's like freaking out. Yeah.
I mean, all the like, as I looked at again, like I've driven by it, I'm like, look that up, Julie. Like, Julie, look that up. And so you look it
Yeah.
up, and then I'm like, dude, this is legit.
Jesus.
Like the way they're dressed up, and some of like the rooms that they show online, like I haven't seen it
They
in
go
real life.
hard.
They go hard.
like you couldn't pay me enough money to do that, bro.
Have you seen the Nathan for You with the haunted house?
No,
You know what Nathan for You is?
Yeah.
Basically, he goes into businesses and just like he tells them he's gonna fix it, but like does a prank basically. He went to a haunted house and he took over and he basically told the people on the haunted house tour that they've contracted a virus that's gonna kill them. Like, takes
just
it
like
way too far.
Yeah, like psychological damage.
It's so funny though.
how does he break it to him at the end? Like how far does he let it go?
To the hospital.
Oh my god.
Like ambulance, everything.
Oh my god! I mean, does it get people
Like
to
fake ambulance.
like
Like
yeah,
they
but-
got a fake ambulance to bring them to like
Yeah.
drive them to the hospital.
Yep,
That's
exactly.
incredible. I mean, how does he get away with that?
He's Nathan Fielder, dude. He's the most insane person to ever live.
I mean, does he make people sign like do they sign like a waiver to go into the haunted house, or
Yep.
so like they're basically signing it, not reading it?
Yep.
Genius.
Savage.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you have to sign a waiver for the haunted overload too, and like I'm sure that the actors have been like punched in the face. You know, like
yeah.
they jump out and someone's just like, oh god, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if 9 people like jump and scream out of 10, one guy's turning around and just like throwing a haymaker.
100%.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd do that.
No, you wouldn't.
I
You would run and scream.
no, I actually I would stand still. Yeah, my fight or fight, dude. I play like possum. I sometimes just fucking freeze. Yeah, I don't know. What
So
to
you're in
do.
the middle. You're a freeze boy.
I'm a freeze boy. Yeah, I remember like I was walking home the other night and I don't know, I was with Joe Exotic and he like called me. He was like, dude, like these guys came out of the taxi cab. They were gonna beat me up because it's like they were drunk and the Uber driver kicked them out. So I ran and I was like, great, dude. I would just froze. Because, like, I don't know. I can't fight. I can't run. Fucking freezing, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Cinder block shoes.
Yeah.
You're trying to blend into your
Yeah,
natural
dude.
surroundings.
I just freak out.
Just like
Against
don't
the wall.
move, and they're like, "What the fuck is this guy
How can
doing?"
he see me?
They're like, "Dude, we're not gonna
I'm gonna beat
fight
the shit
you."
out of you. You just-
Yeah, oh, shit. I can't see if I'm not moving.
You freaked him out so badly because you're trying to like be camouflaged into,
Yeah.
into like the
Where'd he
concrete.
go?
Yeah, fuck scary houses, dude.
Scary houses.
Overlord haunted mansions.
Well, now that I know somebody who's been there, who has friends of friends that work there, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I'd
We're
recommend
going.
it.
Bring Jack, dude.
No, no.
His son's
Come on.
like 5 years old.
Speaking of Jack, you know his brother, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. We grew up. I can't remember the first time I met him, but it was probably somewhere. It might have been actually at like Freestyle America something.
Yeah, some
Maybe.
Waterville camp or
Yeah,
something.
Waterville something for sure. Or actually, did he go to Holderness?
Yeah,
So it might have been like a USASA where like that's where he met, I think.
I call it chowderness. But dude, it's funny because I used to go to all Jack's comps or like anyone I could go to, and I like remember seeing you and your sister on the start list and stuff. So
Did he just
I don't
do
know if we ever met,
USASA
but-
or
he did both,
okay?
but I don't really know honestly. I remember him going to like nationals at Waterville or something. But yeah, big loon guy.
Yeah, he put out some. Was it 1 or 2 edits? Like, one of them was in Park City. I remember that was super sick. With I can't remember the kid that filmed it, but it was like really,
Ian?
really well done. Yeah.
Ian Averleaf.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ian-
that's the
exactly,
one.
yeah.
Him and Ian put out all their edits.
I actually met that kid Ian in Park City, like randomly lapping the park, but he's from like Seacoast as well.
Yeah,
isn't
he's
he?
from Durham.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was. He was like, we were talking, like, oh, from New Hampshire. Yeah, me too. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm from Durham. He's like, me too.
Shout out Ian, dude. Ian listens to the pod. He'll be stoked
Oh,
to
sweet.
get the mention.
He's a beauty. He's an absolute awesome dude.
Yeah.
So from where you grew up, right? I'm assuming you grew up in what's it called, Madbury.
Yeah, Durham. Like
Durham. So-
Oyster River.
So where did you ski? Did you go right to Waterville? I mean, you're probably
We-
closer to Maine, right?
Yeah.
Kinda?
I mean, there's mountains all within like 2 hours that are like Waterville, Loon, Cannon, Sunday River, Wildcat, like
Yeah.
all, like the North Conway way
Right.
as well. But I started at Gunstock actually, like my first time ever skiing. I think like 2 days there, and like King Pine. I don't know if you ever heard of King
Oh,
Pine.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I went to King Pine like super, super young. That was probably like first couple experiences skiing were King Pine and Gunstock. And then my family went in on a house in Sunday River with my mom's brothers, like my cousins. And we had that for 4 years at Sunday River in house up there, which was really, really fun. That's where like things kind of kick-started for our family, for myself in skiing in general. Just like I would wake up early in the morning, put my ski boots on, ski all day, and then get picked up in the car with my ski boots still on and go build like a jump in the backyard. Or like we lived on like a mountain, so you could do like car laps on the mountain too. So sometimes we would like leave our house and like ski down to the bottom of the hill and then like get picked up and brought back down. Yeah,
Nice.
it was fun.
Sick. Were you on the freestyle team at Sunday River?
Yeah, so I did the like ski school type thing for 2 years, and then my sister joined the race team, and I was like, no way, I'm doing that. That's not fun at all. I would just like always go off the trail into like on the jumps and in the trees, whatever. And so I think you had to be like 8 or 9 to join the Freeski program, but I was like so done with the daycare stuff, and I wanted to do like moguls and jumps and whatever. So like somehow I got into the Freeski program when I was like 6 or 7, and it was like maybe I had to do like a tryout or something, and like they like saw me ski to see if like it was gonna be okay. And so then I started when I was 7 7 years old. I started like officially doing free skiing, and we did that for like 7, 8, and then when I was in 3rd grade, we went to Park City for a year. Like our whole family moved to Park City for 6 months because my dad is able to work remote, sort of, and he would like come back and forth a little bit. But we moved out there for the most part, or the rest
for
of the
that
family did.
for that winter.
Yeah, for 2011, 2012.
Okay.
And again, like I had like 360s, 720s, and stuff like that. I think when we moved, so I was like getting pretty good, and I think it was like 8 or 9. And then we went out there, and I was skiing. I went from skiing like 2 days a week on Fridays and Saturdays to then when I moved out there, skiing on Wednesdays after school, Fridays after school, and Tuesdays and Thursdays night skiing. So I was skiing like 5 or 6 days a week when I was in Park City.
Back when
And
Park City had
night skiing.
3 Kings night skiing.
Yeah. Back then too.
The good old
Actually,
days.
yeah, because we would do. Yeah, I was skiing like every single day and going to school until like 3, and then getting out, having a snack, and then going skiing.
Mm-hmm.
It was super fun.
That is super fun. So from there, did you guys come back right away, or you're like, no, like I got to stay in Park City?
Yeah, so we went out there kind of as a trial, like my parents have basically they went to UNH and then they've just stayed in Durham for the rest of their lives. So
Yeah.
like they wanted to change.
Pretty
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah. They wanted like a change and like to try something new. So it wasn't necessarily like see if we wanted to move there, but it was kind of just like an experience that they wanted to do. And we moved out there and we really loved it, but nobody in our family was like ready to move, move there forever. But we knew that we were like kind of done with Sunday River, and looking for something else. And I ended up going, or even before we like that, maybe one of those summers somewhere in those couple of years, I went to Freestyle America camp at Waterville or like in Campton with the Prestons, with Wes Preston and Nick Preston, like a sleepaway camp. And it's basically like trampolines. At the time, they didn't have an airbag, I don't think, yet when I first went there. So we were just like doing trampolines, and then they have like a little dry slope with rails and stuff. But we did that, and we knew how like we knew the facilities and like the coaches and the program that they had at Waterville was really good. And so we rented a house when I was like 10 years old at Waterville, and then it kind of just like snowballed from there.
Got it.
At Waterville. And my sister Grace was still in the race program when we actually like started there, but she only did 1 year of racing at Waterville, and then she switched to freestyle and like immediately excelled in that. And then soon after, we both started at the academy.
So when you went to that camp and you saw people training on tramps and you saw all this other kind of things that you probably haven't been exposed to yet, was that when you were like, oh shit, like if I want to level up here, this is what I need to be doing?
Yeah, well, I also had like a circle trampoline in my backyard, and that I've had it like since I was able to walk. Pretty much, we've had that trampoline. Like I know we had that super early on, and so went to that trampoline camp, and like I don't know if you've bounced on like the circle trampolines before when you're younger, and they're terrible.
They're
horrible.
The fact that they were even allowed to be sold for as long as they have is incredible. They're so
and they're
dangerous.
super dangerous too. Yeah, I didn't really think about that.
We got one like way too late, like from like Costco, like a Costco special, whatever. It was actually. It's a weird story. I won't tell it, but we got one too late. And I remember like the first week that I had, I think I was like in, I don't know, what would have been like in 8th grade, maybe something like that. My sister was like 5th grade, 6th grade. Anyways, but I remember like the first week, like kids in the neighborhood, everyone, like 3 people, like in the first like 4 days,
Arm
were like,
broken.
yeah, gone.
Yeah,
like through the springs, like
Yeah.
it's kind of wild that they're still. I mean, they're probably a lot safer now, but compared to like
Well,
what you go from.
We would put as many people as we could on that thing, and just
Definitely.
and
Yeah,
just
the double
fight
popcorn,
each other.
Yeah.
and
The double bounce.
The double bounce, dude.
The triple
It was
bounce.
incredible.
Popcorn.
But you
the
probably
amount of fights that would break out on that thing, like
Yeah.
when you're like in a like octagon style net thing, because that was like
you know how many
technically more
you
safe.
know how many stone cold stunners I gave people, dude? How many rock bottoms?
Yeah.
So many.
Dude, I would double bounce my like little sister. She was like a quarter of my size, so she would like go over the net.
Yeah,
sometimes,
over
dude.
the net.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Mom would get pissed off.
Well, it's again back to my original point. I'm glad that they're still like sold because it's like part of like an awesome portion of your childhood.
Yeah,
like,
definitely
we were
is.
living on the edge.
Yeah.
But back to what you were saying.
Yeah, I had this circle trampoline that I would bounce on all the time. Went to that camp, and those trampolines are like the Olympic style ones. They bounce way higher, and so they were like super fun to learn tricks on, whatever. And then I would go back home after camp to like my trampoline at home and like just be on it for hours, but like wasn't the same thing. And I would just like for years I was just begging my parents to like get a bouncier trampoline, and they're like, what does that even mean? Like, you want to bounce?
This one doesn't
trampoline?
bounce good enough.
Yeah, and they're like, what? Yeah, no, I'm not going high enough. Like, what does that mean? But yeah, I just kept begging for a long time, and then we have like a super old New England house with like a barn in the back, like it's really old. There's like farm animals when my parents first moved in, but then they sold them or whatever, or the people that owned it before had farm animals, something like that. And now it's just like storage, or like if we have like a party or a barbecue, like people go hang out in there and stuff like that. It's really fun. But we renovated it and ended up putting a like Olympic style trampoline in one of it in like the
sick.
back corner, and it's like in the ground, and we put these pads around it.
So how deep do you have to be in the ground?
It's like 4 or 5 feet.
Oh, not
deep.
That's,
Yeah.
I would have thought it would be.
But
deeper.
I mean, like the other thing is like now, because I weigh more and like can bounce higher, I can touch the ceiling like pretty easily. But like back then I couldn't touch the ceiling, and it wasn't really a problem. But now I can like pretty easily touch the ceiling.
What about the bot?
And I've never touched the bottom.
Really?
But I would imagine, well, that's the other thing. It's like if I couldn't touch the bottom because I'm already like hitting the ceiling. You know what I mean? So like if there's no ceiling, I could keep bouncing higher and like maybe I'd hit the bottom, but it's pretty deep. It's like probably 5 feet, probably 5 feet deep. And yeah, but it's not that big of a room. So it kind of looks like this stuff actually, like, well, not really, but it's like, the room's kind of small. So it looks like one of those like rooms in like elementary school when kids are like having a freak out and it's like completely padded all around.
I know those rooms.
Garrett spent a lot of time in those rooms.
I did. That's where I grew up.
Yeah, so it looks like that basically. Like you could like land a trick or whatever and like shoot off into the wall because there's not that much space, but it's just padded.
Yeah.
But yeah, that definitely was something that also like probably helped me become the skier and like have the tricks I have today because I was just spent so much time on that trampoline in the barn.
I mean, yeah, man, that's incredible.
Yeah, that was I should know the year or the date on when we actually put that in, but it was early. It was like in 6th grade or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, and then you have to have some kind of level of coaching that would probably help you with that trampoline too. Do you have people come over or do you like, how did that work?
No, so I guess around that same exact time, I was at Waterville going on weekends. And then in 6th grade, or 5th grade, actually. In 5th grade, I started doing the winter program at Waterville, which was like I would leave, which they also didn't do. I don't think they started until like 6th or 7th grade for that. But I got like a special exception to start earlier by like the coaches or something to start earlier at the academy. And I started when I was in 5th grade and basically would like take the curriculum from the middle school up there, do my classes and get to ski during the day. So like do classes from like 7:30 to 11:30 and then ski from like 12 till 4 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they had the trampolines there at Waterville. So I was
sick.
Training on those a bunch. And then like when I would go home in the spring, summer, fall, I would bounce on my own. But no, I don't think we never had any coaches come over to our barn to do anything. That was kind of just free reign. It was also like I said before, the circle trampoline with the net was like a octagon. We would have like fight nights in the trampoline room. It was
So
just like
good.
all padded. And
Awesome.
Like, yeah,
That's awesome.
pretty funny.
Was it similar at Proctor, dude? Like similar schedule, like for ski, like for class and ski, or was it more classes?
Oh, I didn't know you went to Proctor.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
I went to New Hampton.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Lakes Region rival, dude. The schedule was during the winter, it would be like classes from like 8 to 2. And then you go to the mountain on most days. And then I think on Wednesdays, it was like we'd get out at like noon and then go skiing. So we were skiing every day.
To Ragged
But
or Sunapee.
yeah.
Yeah,
Ragged.
New Hampton skis at same place or no? As Proctor.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Wait, did Rob Dresser coach you
No.
at Proctor?
No.
Okay.
No. Thank God.
Well, actually, you know who we just had him on the podcast,
Dan Egan.
Dan Egan.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
So,
Dan Egan was like
we'll
our-
tell the story because you didn't tell it on the Dan podcast, which you should have. But like, so he was their coach.
Yeah, so Dan became the coach my last year at Proctor. And it was just, the team was me and 2 of my best friends. And Dan came in and like first couple days we were like, who the hell is this old guy? Like this guy doesn't know about skiing. What the hell? Like, we were just like kind of
Like this guy's over his
like
skis with us.
under our breaths, we're like, this guy is so lame. And then like 3 weeks in, we realized he's been in like 20 Warren Miller movies and he's like a ski pioneer.
He's like a legend.
That's hilarious.
You're like, why didn't he say it from the jump?
Yeah.
Let us know.
But,
Flex on us a little bit.
Yeah, that was dope.
Sick.
Yeah.
So I've heard you talk before, like about you and your sister. So when your sister was done racing, right? Was she kind of like a bigger influence on you to like keep pushing with what you're doing now, or how did she make that transition? Was it more you than her, or her than you?
I mean, I would say that I was doing freestyle skiing and she was racing, and she wasn't really loving racing, and I was loving freestyle, and I was like, well, you should come try this. And like she would be racing, but then she'd like sometimes come to those summer things and like do some of the freestyle stuff with me. So she always kind of like knew she liked it in the back of her mind, and then kind of helped her to make the switch and convince her to do it. But then, I mean, since the day she switched, we've just kind of been like feeding off of each other, going back and forth on like skiing, or like if somebody's not so motivated or doesn't want to like whatever, just like kind of like helping each other through the whole process,
Yeah.
which has been something that's like definitely really helpful and like super fun to have a family member that's like
just from a level of like comfortability, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you guys are there together. I mean, that's gotta be huge.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something I've said this before too, but it's like something when we're traveling and like have been away from home for a really long time. It's like home is really where like you feel at home, and so like having some family with you while you're away is definitely like definitely helps with the being away for so much time.
Yeah, man. I mean, especially if you're on the road that often. I mean, having someone around where you feel like it doesn't feel like you're surrounded by strangers all the time.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you're on the road. You feel like you're at home. So
Yeah,
it's definitely like we're definitely lucky in that sense.
That's awesome.
Travel with you a lot? Like
Yeah, she's on the same team as me. We're both on the US ski team, competing at all the World Cups. So we pretty much go everywhere together. I mean, like we separate for certain things and stuff like that. And like even on trips, sometimes we'll be like, I'll like won't see her that much because like I'm hanging out with like the guys and the girls are like doing their own thing or whatever, and we're like split up. So it's like, oh, like I should probably go talk to Grace. I haven't seen her in a couple of days, but and meanwhile we're in the same place. But
yeah,
it's easy for your parents to come say what's up.
yeah, it's super easy,
Right.
and to watch too. Like they just they can easily watch us both, which is cool.
It's great.
It's awesome, man.
Do you have any other siblings?
No, just Grace.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So on the competition circuit, right? I mean, because like it's coming up, and I know everyone's going to ask you this as we get closer to it, but you're sitting across from me, so I have to ask, like, what's it like? You know, obviously your ultimate goal, I'll put words in your mouth, is to probably make the Olympics, right? So like you have X amount of time to do that. What's that like as like an athlete and like kind of preparing for trying to qualify for Cortina?
I mean, it's basically it's just like skiing as much as I can. Like I think a lot of people have different ways of going about it with like different plans, but in my head, the way that I'm going to become the best skier that I can be is skiing and like being on skis for as much as possible. And like, and that doesn't necessarily just mean like trying to go everywhere and ski as much as I can. It also is just like when I do have the opportunity to be skiing, like in the off season or whatever, to like make the most of it and just like keep learning new things and like getting better and better like every single day. Yeah, I think that's pretty much my plan. I last year, last ski season, I did my fall semester of my freshman year at University of Utah. So I like decided that I wanted to do an in-person semester of school. I took a gap year after I graduated in 21, and then last fall I did like an in-person semester, and then went online after that. And I just basically did it because I wanted to get that experience of like being a freshman in college, because I knew I wasn't like gonna actually be an in-person college student ever, but I also knew that I would, if I didn't do it now, I was never gonna like ever sit in a classroom. So I was like, this is kind of a good time to do it. I might as well just do it right now. And then now that I kind of like got that out of the way, in a sense, I like am just so down to be skiing all the time and traveling all the time and doing classes like online. Like I'll do like 1 or 2 classes a semester, but just travel as much as I can. Pretty
Impressive.
much.
You're going to college and trying to make the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like it can be a lot sometimes to like, try and keep up with the classes, but it's a nice thing as well because we like ski during the day, but then after skiing, like you're kind of just sitting around sometimes, like shooting the shit, watching YouTube, like just hanging out, playing games or whatever, and like can be nice to have like a little bit of responsibility to like just do a little bit of an assignment, and then you know it like keeps your brain active.
Keep yourself
Otherwise,
sharp.
I'm just like,
I mean, but you can.
Otherwise, I'm just like, Doug.
talking circles
two
about
pets,
skiing.
Well, I mean, it's good to chip away at it, man. I mean, if you can do like 1 or 2 classes a semester, I mean, while you're kind of doing what you're doing now, like over the course of time, like you're getting all your credits, which is really good.
I'll probably graduate when I'm like 30, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's
a lot
fine.
of people do that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
What was your initial impression of your first and only semester of like actual.
Yeah, I mean,
university.
it was definitely really fun, but at the same time, like I had already taken a gap year, and my mom like called this from the get go, but basically like I'd already taken a gap year, so I was already a year older, and like I have grown up with like older kids my whole entire life, just like skiing with the older kids, because like as I said earlier, like I like kind of jumped into programs when I was like younger than everybody else, and like then just rode with the older guys, and so I was just like kind of like, and I've been traveling so much and like been all over the place and like been on my like lived on my own already for like years before that, and then like hop into the dorm room where like it's not as like it's a lot more structured and like you have to be here and there at like these certain times and like you don't have as much like free reign, and so it didn't bother me that much, but my mom's like it's gonna be a big shock, and it was for sure.
Yeah, definitely did.
Yeah.
But it was definitely like I don't regret doing the moving into the dorm at all. It was really, really fun. And I
Oh,
met a
you
bunch
lived in a dorm there?
Yeah. I lived in the dorm. We actually had like during or like after COVID happened, there was like a huge influx of boarders or like out of state students coming to Utah to live in the dorms, and they didn't have enough space. So they like turned this dorm that was like a sophomore dorm into a freshman dorm where it was like a quad. So there's like two and like a common room. And they just turned the common room into a single. So then it was just like 5 singles across. So I had 4 other roommates in there with me, and like they were super cool. And like I met a ton of like really, really sick people when I was at Utah, because that was another thing is like I lived in Utah and I like only knew skiers, which was just totally fine. Like I'm okay with that, but I definitely like to like expand out of just skiing a little bit with like the people I know. And that's like kind of not really true, because a lot of the kids at Utah that I hung with, like everybody skis anyway, and like is like obsessed with it. So, but it was just like I didn't know that many people in Utah, and it like definitely helped me like make more friends in Utah, especially when it's hard, like when you're just traveling all the time and like then you're only hanging out with the US ski team people. So,
well, I mean,
it's definitely good.
When you go to school, right? Like everyone in this room did, it is kind of rad, because you do, like to your point, like having a bunch of random roommates. You live in a dorm with a bunch of random people. You do kind of tend to branch out into like other interests that you wouldn't normally do if you're just hanging out with the same people.
Yeah, and that was something that like was kind of the final like piece to convincing myself and my parents that like it would probably be a good thing.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. I mean, I did it. I mean, I played a lot of soccer growing up, like, and so you just like are known as like a soccer player, and then you get to school, and I'm not playing soccer anymore because I just don't want to play soccer anymore, and so like you hang out with a bunch of people who don't play soccer.
Yeah.
And now you're like, oh, like there's a lot of other dope ass shit that I could be doing instead of just like playing soccer.
Yeah, being
all
your
the time.
personality being soccer.
Right. So that, and you know, in your freshman year mind, like at the time, you don't really think of it that way. You just think of it like, oh shit, like I don't get to play ball anymore. But then you're like, as you kind of grow into that first year, you're like, oh, this is actually pretty dope.
Yeah.
This
you
is
do
really
whatever you
cool.
want.
Yeah, being friends with kids you'd never think you'd be friends with.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, that totally happened at Utah. Like, I met a bunch of friends that like I like met a bunch of people where like you're like, oh, I'm gonna be best friends, then you don't end up becoming best friends, and then like people where I was like, oh, I don't see like as if they're as like similar to me, and then you end up being best friends.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
My roommate, my freshman year roommate, his name was Eric Braband, and I'm Eric Gurman. So it was Eric and Eric, and we couldn't have been more opposite. Like coming out of high school, like couldn't be more opposite. Like we got there, and Eric Braband, he took one look at me.
Is your roommate?
Yeah, my random roommate my freshman year, Giorgio, who started Ski Monster with me. We started together. He lived right across the hall, and then we ended up becoming roommates after that, and so on and so on. And here we are. But Eric Braband, like I remember, I'll never forget, because I walk in, I'm like, hey, my name's Eric, and he's like, me too, and like just the way he looked at me, like, and after we, you know, like about a month in, he's like, the first time I saw you, dude, I was like, fucking hate this kid.
Dude, that always happens.
It's just like he took one look at me.
That's
he's
such like a male thing too, where you see like somebody else like
you
first time
size
you're
him
like,
up, bro.
yeah, you're like,
Fuck this guy.
he told me he's like everything about high school that I hated is you walked into my room,
that's so
and
funny.
I have to live with him.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to UMass Lowell.
Okay, yeah.
Was he?
But we became like best. Like I love him. We became best bros.
Yeah.
He would have ended up living with us. We had moved off campus and we got a big apartment with a bunch of our buddies. It was fucking awesome. If it wasn't for George's random roommate freshman year, because we like swapped. Eric moved in with George's roommate and George moving with me. Eric Braben would have lived in our house with us, but like his roommate kind of dragged him a different direction. We still stayed friends, whatever.
Yeah.
But he's the man. But similarly, like I would have never been friends with Eric Braband unless like you get put in like a room this size with 2 beds. And you make it work.
This
you know,
size, literally.
yeah, literally. You know, and he's played,
Everything I hated about high school just walked into my room. That
what he
is
said to me.
unbelievable.
That's what he said to me. And I was like, I'm sorry, dude. But and he's like, I hate how much I love you now.
Did he spell it with a K or C, dude?
No, 2 C's.
Wow.
It's the only way, dude. The only way. Dude, another cool thing that I wanted to ask you about, which is I think is insanely cool, and you were probably shitting bricks at the time, but you played it off great. I watched it online. You did a great job. Was like your TED Talk, dude. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What are you, 12 or 13?
13, yeah.
Dude, come on. How'd that even come to be?
Basically, I grew up playing lacrosse too, and that was something like that was a big part of my life. Is my dad was more of like my lacrosse influence. He was like played division lacrosse in college, and then he coached high school lacrosse, and then he ended up once like I was born and out of age, he started coaching me like up until high school pretty much. But I was playing club lacrosse down here in Boston with some like with a club lacrosse team and somebody's
What team?
dad. Huh?
Nestle?
No, 3D.
Oh.
3D New England, yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Did you play Nestle?
Nah, I just remember kids playing Nestle.
Yeah.
And
They had cool uniforms.
The clams or something?
Yeah. Fighting clams, something.
The
Clams?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
clams, dude.
That's pretty sick.
That's
Yeah.
sick.
If you
And
were on
there's
the
a team called Laxachusetts too.
Oh, yeah.
That's very funny.
Laxachusetts.
Sounds like laxative, dude.
Yeah, so we one of the dads on the team, or like one of the not dads on the team, but one of the kids' dads on the team. He worked for TEDx or like helped volunteer for TEDx, and somehow found out about my skiing stuff and thought it was interesting. So approached me and like asked me and my parents if we want to do it, and I was like, hell no chance am I doing that. Like
You're
no.
13?
Yeah.
That's
I
terrifying.
was like, absolutely not.
It's terrifying.
My mom was like, okay, but it'd be like a really good opportunity, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life if you don't, all this stuff. And was just like, yeah, it'll be really good for like getting into colleges or like, because I was also thinking about committing like to school for lacrosse, and like that could be something that the coaches look at or whatever. Because this is when I was super young, but I was like, okay, I'll go to the first meeting or whatever. And so we come down to the first meeting, and I think all the meetings were like at MIT with all the like guest speakers and then some like people that were working with everyone. And I like come up with some pitch about how, I don't know, like nobody actually cares. I'm like sitting there next to like a neuroscientist and like somebody who invented water, and like, I'm like, oh yeah, hi guys, I ski.
I can spin around on
Yeah,
skis.
yeah,
It's
and
kind of a big deal.
And,
You ever
and,
two
like,
Bretts too?
People like hear other people talk, and they're like, honestly, everybody's like, what are they talking about? Because it's just like so far beyond like a lot of people. And then I talk, and everybody's like, oh, you're so cute. Like, yeah. But anyway, it wasn't that bad, and like a bunch of the people there were super nice. And after that first meeting, I was like, okay, like I think I can do this. And then we spent like 6 months preparing the speech, and kind of just like figuring out how to do it and like practicing it. And,
Did you do that speech from memory?
Yeah.
Oh, there was no teleprompters
No
anywhere?
teleprompter,
Dude,
no.
that's really impressive.
Yeah, they I think that they maybe do it now, or
Just like kind of keep you on track.
yeah, I think they have teleprompter. I don't know why I didn't do it without a teleprompter, but I know that I was having a lot of trouble like remembering what parts of the speech went where in the like in order. And so at one of the like pitch meetings, this lady, all I can tell you about her is that she's a Harvard professor. I don't know what she was talking about, but I remember she's like a Harvard professor, and she like sent me, or basically like noticed that I was having trouble with it or maybe I told people that, and she like recommended me this thing called Mind Palace, which is like basically you can do it with like anything really, and I've done it with like some things like maybe during high school when I was trying to like study or something, but you basically like we can all like picture how we walk through our house. Like you know exactly where it is. You can walk through and like see everything in the house like in your head. Like you don't have to really think about it. You know where everything is. So you basically like put each part of the speech in like you you would like create a route through your house and like put each part of the speech in like a room. And so like each like subject was assigned to like a room.
Interesting.
And so like I used that as like a way to kind of remember it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, because like I would like finish like be like leaving a room or like finishing out with that and be like, okay, like now I'm going into like the living room, and the living room is where I talk about like how I moved to Waterville or something, and then just like start going off Waterville. And I definitely like stumbled through it a bit.
No, you did not.
Well, they edited it.
Oh, they did?
There's a big stumble like in the raw cut.
Okay, all right. Well, because like the edited version, I'm like, this kid. I'm thinking that there's like a screen like this that's like keeping you on track, like to the side, where you can like look down and be like, all right, now we're at Waterville, so at least like keeps you going.
Yeah.
But the fact that you still did it like cognitively, just like walking through.
I was so nervous. I
space
was
in your
getting
brain.
like hives on my neck before, or like big red hives on my neck, and they like put makeup over it before I went out. I think.
shit,
Yeah.
huh?
And like I was like hugged my mom before, like shaking before I went out. And then I don't know if you remember, but I brought my sister up after like on stage for some reason. Like my mom thought that'd be cute, which I guess like it probably was pretty cute, but like, I don't know. So
Mom, come on.
Yeah, so I
I'm
brought
trying
her.
to do this myself.
Yeah, I brought my sister on up at stage, and after we like go for a hug, but we like both lean the same way, and it's super awkward. And then my friends at school just make fun of me that I kissed my sister. After
Yeah,
that.
dude.
It looks like they like, kiss your sister, dude.
Nice TED
No,
talk.
it do.
Nice talk. You kiss your sister.
I definitely would have made fun of you.
That's epic.
So funny.
I mean, how many people were in the audience? Because like, it cuts to it a couple times, but it's just like you can't really tell.
Yeah, you can't really tell. There's a couple hundred people like
Jesus, dude.
in the audience, but
That's
you can really see it was like they were all pretty dark, and I was like blackout, not paying attention. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't even see what was in front of me. But there was a bunch of people. Like it was at a school, and then they had like classrooms filled and like or like other gyms filled. So like you'd buy tickets to see a speaker, or like you'd pick which ones you want to go to. And so you could go sit in the audience for that. But then other than that, like I actually didn't know that either. So like I went really early and
Hold on. Say that again. You can pick. You can decide who.
yeah.
Where
So
you
you
want
buy
to go.
you buy tickets to like clusters of speakers. So say
Okay.
there's like 20 speakers in a day, and you can like go to 4. Like you pick which 4 you want to, or like they all speak together, and then they like do like a switch, so like people can
I
kind
didn't
of
know that.
yeah. Because well, this was just at this one TEDx Beacon Street, or whatever,
Yeah.
in Boston. And it was just because maybe their auditorium wasn't big enough, but I didn't know that. I just thought it was like the people sitting out there, and I went early. So then I'm glad I didn't know that, because then after I went outside into the school, and there was like a huge gym, like basketball gym filled with people. There was every single classroom was filmed with people with like a live stream of the thing and like audio going on.
Jesus.
And I was like,
You're like, oh my god.
yeah, I did not realize how many people were here. Like
They were there
It's
for
probably
you?
good.
no, they're there. There's like 20 speakers.
Gotcha, okay.
It's like on like a Sunday, and
Word.
then like, oh, TEDx is coming to Boston. Like let's have 20 speakers. You
Fill up
can
the day.
and then there's like a ton of like it's like a carnival kind of. There's like tons of stuff to do there. It's cool though.
sick.
I mean, it's probably like
I haven't been back to one though since. I would like to go back to one and watch. It'd be cool.
Yeah. But also better that you probably didn't know.
Yeah, it's definitely what better that I didn't know.
Yeah.
I knew. I think somebody told me before there'll be like 500 people listening, and there might have been a little bit more. I don't actually know how many people there were, but like 500 people, and I was just like, okay, this is like 500 people in front of me, whatever.
Dude, let's call it 1,000.
Yeah, call it 1,000.
Yeah.
There's like 10,000 people there.
When you're on the stage,
like 20
when you're on the stage
20,000
and
something.
that light is on you, and you're kind of like going through your thoughts, and you're in your rooms, and you're like, can you even see out, or are you just like looking at?
Yeah,
what
well,
we
that's what I was
present?
trying to say. Like, it's like a headlight
Yeah.
kind of on your face, but also this was like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So it was a long time ago, but I definitely remember being like crazy nervous and just like not even thinking about. I wasn't looking at anybody in the audience. I was just like kind of like lights on, nobody's home, and I'm just like running through my house in my brain pretty much.
It's awesome.
Dude, do you use that Mind Palace trick to like?
That's what I was saying. I haven't used it that much, but I've used it sometimes in school. Like I remember for some Spanish like assignments where I had like vocabulary. I've used it before.
Like, could you apply it to skiing? Like learning a new trick or doing something?
Maybe. I think it's more helps with like memory games. Like it's something where you can like metaphorically put a like subject you need to remember.
Yeah.
I'm
And
doing
put it
that
there.
with everything.
Yeah, you can.
Going forward.
you're not-
I mean, you can do it with like a grocery list.
Yeah.
You're not the
Or you
first
could just
person-
type it in your notes on your phone too.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do. But I've heard people do this in like college. We talked about this. It's like one of the most effective ways to.
Yeah, there's a video about
Memorize.
it called Mind Palace that's like explains it better than I did. But
It's dope.
Speaking of new tricks, dude, like how do you what is your process when you want to learn a new trick or teach? Like how do you do it? Like how do you?
it's definitely like progressed over my whole career. I feel like when I was younger, like started on trampolines, and like obviously it started on trampolines because like the tricks were way smaller. But now the like I would say that when I was younger, it was a much bigger deal and like learning a new trick because it's like a completely new flip or like way of taking off on the jump. And now it's like I learn a new trick and it obviously like kind of relative and like depends, but usually it's just like a little bit different, but like way bigger. You know, like before, like, oh, like I learned like a front flip and now I want to learn back flip. And like, that's a huge step because it's like a completely different thing. But now it's like, oh, I'm doing like a dub 14 and I'm going to like make it a 16. And it's just like you do the same thing. And then at the end, you kind of just do like a 180.
Yeah.
So
just building like a building block essentially.
yeah. And like, I would say, yeah, if there was like a graph for the tricks I've learned, it would be like exponential. And then now it's just like kind of getting like,
Right.
you know, a little bit more like fine tuned and smaller. But there's definitely some things that like I haven't learned that I'm wanting to learn and like, yeah, and try out for sure.
Yeah. And a lot into what? Do you do a lot into the airbag?
Yeah,
or did you?
do. No, I did growing up. And then now we do it every once in a while. Park City right now is like rebuilding their airbag, so it should be open in like August, and then we'll be using it a little bit more. But since we're on the topic of airbag, which is interesting, but like it's such a like there's so many good things and so many bad things to the airbag. Like it definitely makes everything way safer, and like it's almost like a false sense of like safety, and like you get so comfortable in the airbag where like you can literally. This is like more the downhill airbags. I don't know if you've seen those. Like it's like it looks like a
It's an
jump.
actual landing.
Yeah, it looks like a jump.
I don't think
an actual landing.
I don't think I have.
It's sick.
Yeah, it's like an actual
So you're landing on a landing
down
of an airbag.
and it's water, and you can like ski down it for a second. Then you tip over. It's like
Really?
yeah, it's so futuristic and like it's so. I mean, you can still get hurt on it, obviously, but like you can try whatever you want to try on it and like be totally fine. And so like. You go there for a little bit and you're just like you get like so used to just like trying whatever, and then you show up
With
on
no
snow.
risk.
Yeah, with no risk. And then you show up on snow and you're like, and it's like cold and icy and you're like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
this is terrifying.
Yeah.
So like I definitely like to airbag to like. I think there like over airbagging is a thing for sure, and like a lot of there's a lot of skiers like on the World Cup circuit that will like airbag a ton. I mean, and we airbag a ton. Like I'm guilty of it too, but like it's definitely like I don't know. You can like see it in skiing sometimes where it's like somebody can like do that trick because they've been airbagging it versus like they can do it really well on snow with like I don't know. No,
You can tell if somebody learned something in an airbag or
Yeah.
learned it on snow.
Sometimes, yeah.
That's so funny.
It's just 'cause
But
it's
I get
cleaner.
what you're saying.
It's I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's just like it's like I guess there's a lot of airbag tricks going on right now. Like I have airbag tricks that like there's no like I don't know how you would have learned it without like it'd be so dangerous to learn it without
Airbag.
Yeah. And like it's just like kind of there's some aerialist type tricks out there that are like so gnarly and so big that like I don't know how you would do it without trying it on an airbag first. You'd have to be psychotic.
Yeah. Did you do like gymnastics growing up?
A little bit. Like I think my parents probably like, oh, this kid really likes a trampoline. Like we should probably get him into gymnastics or something. And I hated it, but
Get into the gym.
yeah.
Those foam pits are sick though.
I mean,
They're
that
sick.
The
Yeah, so they have foam pits, like you've seen the ramp with the foam pit, right?
Yeah.
Like at Woodward and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, so they have that, and then like that was honestly the first like airbag, and then it become like in a flat airbag, and then now it's like an actual jump.
Dude, with the flat airbags, like, do people like
The flat airbags hurt,
snap your neck?
but that's how
like that?
I grew up on a flat airbag at Waterville. So like
Yeah.
I learned most of my tricks on the trampoline, and then I would try them on the airbag a little bit.
Yeah.
and then
Hurt because of
it's
impact?
dry. Well, it's like dry, so there's no
You, like,
like you
burn?
don't really slide.
I mean,
and
if you land upside down on one of those things, it's not like
yeah, it's not that forgiving.
yeah.
Interesting.
And it's I mean definitely like forgiving, but it's like you can kind of like land sideways and then like just have like a lot of forward momentum and then just like snap down and like get whiplash, like kind of hit your head on it and stuff like that. And then the downhill airbag is like not even like nearly as aggressive as the flat airbag.
I'm pretty.
I think I
stoked to
met
learn
Jack
about that.
did Jack airbag a little bit at Waterville sometimes.
Definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I definitely airbagged with him when I was super young too.
Um,
But that's another thing that like I'm like not super proud of is like I learned a lot of my tricks from the Waterville airbag, and like there's a ton of skiers out there that just like tried their like unnatural doubles and like doubles whatever without an airbag, and that is like so scary to me.
Yeah.
That sounds insane.
I get what you're saying, but also so many skiers learn on an airbag.
Yeah, but that's also the like, I mean, we're in a sport where like you like. It's not that accessible, and so like the airbag makes it like even less accessible to like do that sort of
you
thing.
got to go to the academy.
You got
or
you got to
something.
pay for the airbag. You got to like go there in the summer and stuff like that. It just make it's something that like probably would be better if it didn't exist, but there'd be a lot more injuries.
Yeah.
For sure.
So obviously,
it would be honestly better for our sport if airbags just didn't exist at all, I think, but like there'd be more injuries for sure.
I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be as it wouldn't be progressing as quickly.
Yeah, which
That's for sure.
Well, could you just launch?
but you could get it could be like more people would
Well,
be.
they have water
Yeah.
amps.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
like the original thing.
That was true. It was like I said foam pits were, but actually water amps probably the original airbag.
Yeah.
But that's something that I always like have to remind myself of. Like, it's like, oh, why was there only like 300 people viewing our World Cup? It's like because nobody has any idea what slopestyle skiing is, and if you do, like
Nobody knows what a dub 16
Yeah,
seatbelt is.
which is fine though. Like I get why. Like and I don't think it's ever gonna be like super known. It's like a community thing, and everybody who's a part of it like really loves what they're doing, which is super sick. But like to stand out, you just have to try and do something that's unique.
But I feel like it ramps up, when it becomes more like globally aware. You're like when you can ramp up towards the Winter Olympics, right?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
So like
that's where a lot of people get their
right.
following from.
So by the time like that time comes, there's way more eyeballs on it because it's not just our community that's talking about it. It's everyone that's talking about it. So that's why it's super important to like be as dialed as we can I guess as like a whole business, like as you ramp up to the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
Everybody's
get
watching.
eyes on it.
Yeah, everyone's watching.
Yeah.
And obviously that's your focus between getting to the Olympics and competitions and all that, and learning new tricks. But has film kind of like struck your interest at all?
Yeah. I'm glad we're moving on to that. I was just up at the Vocal warehouse yesterday and had some meetings with people up there. But that's definitely something that I'm like talking to sponsors about. Like,
Who'd you meet with?
with Sarah Lauriston.
Yeah, Sarah's
yeah.
Sarah's the
I
best.
forgot you guys would know them. And and Jared, I don't know his last name, and Derek McLennan.
Yeah,
McLennan?
Derek, yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Derek did my boot fitting up there yesterday.
Dope.
And he killed it.
What did he put you in?
The El Moro. So the El Moro just had some new modifications to it this like 23-24 season, and I'm gonna try it out in Whistler a little bit. But like in the fitting, they felt really comfortable, which like never happens for me. Usually like when I first put them on, there's like a couple things that like bother me and we punch out, or like maybe put like an extra piece of foam to like make some more space. But they felt really good, and I'm excited to try them. And they're more like tight or like tight to my foot throughout the whole boot. Like as before, there was maybe like some more space like at the top or like at the toe, but like now it feels like the boot is like perfectly like when you buckle it down, it's like tight all the way through the entire like ankle.
Consistent even
toes.
pressure, bro.
Yeah,
That's the key.
exactly. Yeah, and it's really nice. They moved they just moved some things around, like they moved the buckle down and like whatever, and so it feels good.
That showroom they have there's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I've been to that earlier, but I just went to like the boot fitting room in the warehouse. But that new showroom is sweet.
Yeah, Derek built all those things.
Really?
Yeah, all those racks.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He pulled that from like an old barn, like all
that's
that
cool.
wood, and then all those displays. That was him.
Yeah,
It
that's
looks so
sweet.
good.
It does.
Yeah, that's a nice room. I was like, what do you guys use the space for? And it would just be like for like you guys go up there or like other like ski shops want to like, or like a big client.
Yeah, see the
basically.
line.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like a, definitely a good room to have.
So you're meeting.
What was the question, though?
You're
Where did we
you're
go?
meeting with Sarah.
Oh,
Film.
for film. Yeah. That's definitely, I mean, that is a priority, but like competing right now is definitely like a much more higher priority. When I have time, I definitely want to be filming and more. I mean, honestly, I really like just skiing, like in general, skiing the mountain, skiing like upper lines and like, and going fast. So I think I see myself more moving into like into the backcountry, into bigger mountains. I'm actually looking into getting a sled right now this summer for next winter.
Let's
Because
go.
we have like 5 or 6 weeks off
Hell
during
yeah.
February. And
Sick.
honestly, I also think that the weather next winter is going to be similar to this past winter out in Utah and Mammoth. Because I don't know if you guys know, I don't really know what this means, but I just was reading about it yesterday that like El Nino is coming back again, and it already like showed up on the
Dude,
West Coast.
I've been telling all the customers that.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane.
Biggest winter ever.
I think well, I think they always like those winters always come in packs too. So
Yeah.
I already think it's gonna be big, but like with El Nino on top of it,
Yeah.
like I have no idea what I'm talking about right now. But
No.
Dude, I love it. I love it.
but I'm optimistic, and I think
Were you just in California? Were you in Mammoth?
Yeah, I was in Mammoth for like 3 weeks.
In May?
I got there on like the 5th and left on the 29th.
And Stoneback was still.
It was insane.
I was
Yeah.
just watching that edit you guys made.
It was
super dope.
it was
Was that
insane.
you,
Wait, which one?
Magma? What's it called? We shouldn't play basketball.
Oh yeah, with
You have a couple clips.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I had a couple of yeah. Owen was living with us in that. On that
dope.
week.
Hid-
That was-
hideous looking jumpers in that edit.
Yeah. The basketball shots were not
No,
pretty.
No,
But
that was
you could
hilarious.
tell.
I was like sitting there. We were playing basketball, and I like had hurt my shoulder the days before, and so I was like tried to play for a little bit and was like bugging my shoulder too much. So then I was just sitting out, and then I saw Owen whip out the camera, and I was like, oh my god, thank God I'm not.
I could look at a bunch of skiers playing basketball without knowing they were skiers and just
Be like they ski.
no right. Well, right. The second I see a jumper.
So funny.
But
It was
I
really
was gonna
funny.
ask you, was that you doing a dub in the pipe in that?
Yeah.
That was crazy,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah. I
Got some pipe chops.
Yeah, I like every single year I go to Mammoth and I step to the pipe, and
Hell
I
yeah.
think I'm like good at skiing pipe, and it's just like a false sense of comfort, just like the airbag, because it's like
Yeah,
so
that
soft.
dub
and-
12 you did was not impressive.
well, it's just so soft, and I'm like, oh yeah, like this is pipe skiing. This shit's so fun.
Oh, you mean like
and
next
then
year? Yeah.
and then I go in the pipe in December in Copper, and I'm like, I'm never going in a pipe again.
Mm-hmm.
It's icy and
Sheets.
cold,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like, it's just so much more gnarly than people give it credit for, I think.
Oh,
For
yeah.
sure.
Dude, it looks like a death trap, bro.
Yeah, well,
A
and
slushy pipe, definitely. Yeah.
we have like, say, if it's a good landing, we'll have like 40 feet of wiggle room of like you can land somewhere in this 40 feet and be fine. Like even like landing on the knuckle, you're gonna be totally fine. And then like hopefully like 20 feet above the tranny, you'll probably be fine as well, and like be able to ride out of it. But in the pipe, there's like 6 feet of like margin of error. Like you have to land right below the deck and then before it gets flat, and that's like a tiny amount of space. So
the
it's-
margin of error is smaller, and the consequences
Oh
are
yeah,
higher.
the
too.
consequence is way higher too. But yeah, like that double was actually funny because I was like doing nines. Basically every day, like the pipe was open till like 2, but the pipe riders only rode it from like 9 until 1 or 10 until 1. So like from 1 to 2, all the slope skiers would go in there. We call it power hour and just go
Sick.
crazy for that hour. And I was doing nines on that wall and just kept landing super, super low every time. And I like didn't really know why. I couldn't really fix it because I have no idea what I'm doing. And then on like the 2- run, we were all like all the pipe skiers were just sitting there watching us, like laughing at us and stuff like that at the top. And then they were all like grabbing their bags and like we're going down. And also there's so many people in the pipe at the time because there's these I think it was I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was like Kaishu, Hirano, and another half pipe rider, snowboarders that were like trying triples on this lap, like right at the end of this day. They were like gonna try triples, and I like was standing up there and I didn't tell anybody what I was doing, but I was like, knew I was going to like probably try it. And then so everybody like kind of went before me and I was super nervous and everyone's just standing at the bottom, like waiting to watch these guys do triples. But I was like also going to try this. So I like asked my friend Tristan Feinberg to film me and I go and do like a straight air and like flail and then do another straight air and flail. And he was like, what is this kid? Why am I filming this kid? Like two straight airs down the half pipe. And then I like go up and set it and you can just see like right when I said it, he's like, oh my God, oh my God. And then rode out and all my friends at the bottom were like, what the heck? Like I had no idea you were doing that.
That's fucking
so
sick.
funny.
That's really sick.
It was
So
scary though.
how long-
And I had no idea where I was. Like I had no idea if I was going to deck, land flat. Like
Was that your first one?
I've done one double before, like a dub flare, and I like barely rode out of it last year, and that one was out of like, I don't know, I don't know why I did that last year.
Credit to you, dude. I mean, the pipe is so scary.
Yeah, it is pretty.
And what are
scary.
you're on revolts?
Yeah, I pretty much ride like every revolt ski in that line. My favorite all-time ski, if I had to pick one ski to ski for the rest of my life, it would probably be the 104 Revolt. I just think that it's like so versatile. Like you can ski it in the park, you can ski it in POW. Like you can just do whatever you want on it. But I really like the new 96 is super fun for like the slushy skiing in Mammoth. That's what I was riding the whole time I was there.
The 96.
The new 96, yeah,
yeah.
because it's like super wide at the front, so it kind of just like punches through the slush, and it's super soft, which is fun in the slush as well.
And you've been on Vocal Double for a while, right?
Yeah, since I was 13, I
Okay,
think,
yeah.
13 or 14. Yeah, I've been with those three. But yeah, just this past year, I would always like ride the same ski, but just this past year, I kind of like opened up to like the whole Revolt line. Usually it would be like they used to have a A85, like the wall, and I was on the wall for a really long time, but now I've been riding like all their skis this year, and it's been super fun.
You ever get on a Mantra?
No, I have a Blaze 106.
Oh, no.
I have a Blaze 106 touring setup. I've never been on a Mantra, I don't think.
Mantra's a beast.
Yeah, the red one?
Yeah.
Or the, yeah.
How did they approach you when you were 13?
Is that
Like,
the Mantra M6?
the M6?
red one?
Yeah. How did that work? Like from those guys?
They definitely didn't approach me. I definitely wrote them an email, I think. That's what I was doing back then, I think,
Nice.
to get skis, like sending over. I had like a resume and a season edit, and I would like copy and paste the same email to either, honestly, not a lot of companies. I wasn't like sending it to everyone. I would just send it to Fisher. I was sending it to like Fisher Skis when I was super young over and over again every week.
Did you ever get a response?
Never got a response from Fisher.
That's Berkowitz, dude.
Yeah, Matt Berkowitz.
Yeah, that's our brand
He
director.
He never responded to me. Wow. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
What
I
an
was
asshole.
M. Berkowitz at Fisher Skis
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah.
He works at Ski Monster.
No way.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Yeah,
He's
he,
a
Oh, dude, I wish he was here now.
I know.
yeah, he never responded to me.
Don't worry about it. He's a hawker.
So similar when he was younger, like around your age, 13, 14, he was doing the same thing to brands because he thought he was going to be a pro skier.
That's funny.
Well,
I mean,
fast forward,
like you got to give those guys credit though, because
But-
you got to give those like ski brand team managers credit because they get like 1,000 emails a day.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like Sarah was telling me yesterday, like my emails just always get buried whenever I send her emails because like she gets so many
I'm
emails
sure.
from kids.
We did a podcast with Jason Leventhal from J Skis, and at the time, he started Line Skis back in the day, and Jay was telling the story because Berkowitz was like, basically like emailing Jay like at Line, be like, yo, like sponsor me, and then Jay, it's so funny. He was like, I remember. He's like, he just responded back to Berkowitz. He's like, dude, I can't sponsor you. You're just a hooker.
No way.
Because he wasn't grabbing, spinning fast,
That's
spinning
so
tight.
funny.
like,
You
you're just
said
a
that to
hawker.
Berkowitz?
Yeah.
Dude, it
We've
started. Clearly
we've
it
told that story probably 5 times
I'm
on
gonna-
this
I'm gonna-
podcast,
I'm gonna
but
con-
I will tell it every
time.
episode.
I'm gonna
That's
tell
hilarious.
that
I
story
want
to
it
the
to
day.
be on every episode.
Berkowitz still has the email response from Jay Lev.
It's unreal. We should get it
You're a
printed
hooker.
out.
And I'm so glad that he didn't respond to you. That makes my day.
Yeah, that's,
I'm
it's
sorry.
so funny. Well, I maybe would be riding on Fishers right now. Who knows? That was the first
exactly.
ski. That was the first ski I got, first twin tip ever, and then I loved it and was skiing it until I was probably like 13. Then honestly, like I guess I got to think more about how the vocal interaction went. But I would imagine I like emailed them, and then they said yes, and like it was maybe like a buy one get one type of deal, and I was like, oh God, like I love Fisher though. I don't know if I want to leave. And then I was like, oh, whatever. And then started skiing on Vocal. And haven't, so I've actually only skied on Fishers and Vocals like my whole life. I mean,
Ever?
I've tried.
Wow.
I've tried.
What a great nugget that was.
That was awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And so how'd it work with Red Bull, dude? How'd that work?
That was crazy too. So in the Atlanta Big Air, I don't know if you guys saw anything about that. That was probably December 2019. They did like a Big Air in the Atlanta Braves Stadium, and I was just like walking through the hotel lobby, and my agent was like sitting at a table with some people, and he was like, "Oh, hey Hunter, come over here. Like, come sit down." And I was like, I'm okay, like whatever. I was looking for my parents or something, and I was like, so I went and sat down and talked to talked to these guys for a while and about like whatever, and then eventually somewhere in the conversation, like I heard that they worked for Red Bull, but I didn't actually know that like initially when I was talking to them. And then my parents came over and sat down at the same table, and then they started talking with them as well, and they were just like hitting it off really well, and like had no plans of like meeting each other at all, but it was just like my agent was just like, oh, come sit down and talk to these guys, and then like talk to them, and then my parents ended up actually like spending the whole night with them and partying with them, playing cornhole like all night with those guys because they like knew similar people or something. I don't know, my parents just like know so many people for some reason. They like somehow had a mutual friend, and then that kind of started like an interest for them, I guess. I didn't really like do anything there. Just like kept skiing and had a really good year that year in 2020 before COVID, and I was definitely like. My agent would give me little hints of like that they were interested in stuff. So I was like getting super excited, but he was like trying not to get me really excited, but he was telling me. And then COVID hit. I was still talking to him, but it went pretty much dark from Red Bull. Like he's like, I don't know what happened. Like they're not responding, or they're like out of office. Like we'll see what happens. And then so that was like definitely a scary time because I was like, oh no, like I was getting so close, bro. And now it's like over. But then in June, I don't know, you guys know Joe, but I don't know if you know John DeVio, he's another Rebel guy, but he was my athlete manager and he got a promotion. Then Joe became my athlete manager, but John was originally who signed me. And so he came up to Portsmouth and we went out to lunch with him. And it went super well. Just like I didn't know that I was going to get sponsored at that time, but I knew like they were super interested. He probably knew maybe, and like maybe my parents knew, but I didn't really know anything. And
kept you in the dark.
Yeah. And then they gave me like a bunch of Red Bulls that day, and I was like, oh, like this is crazy. Like I got like 4, like maybe 2 packs of Red Bulls and thought it was like the best day ever. It's like, oh,
this is so sick.
Yeah. And
I mean, it is sick.
Yeah, it was sick. I was so hyped. And then I soon after like. They maybe finished up the contract, I guess, and like sent it to my house. And so my agent was like, hey, your contract's like on the way. And then I left for Hood. And so like it got to my house right when I had got to Hood, and I was skiing out there with the US team, ended up falling and hurting my knee. And we didn't really know at first what happened, but I knew I hurt my knee. Didn't get an MRI yet, but it was definitely really bad. And I wasn't sure what it was, but I was like, okay, like I could probably like hurt my knee, probably tore my ACL. And also Red Bull is like, I have a contract that I'm about to sign, and now I haven't signed it yet, and now they're going to like pull out, whatever. So I ended up getting the terrible news that I actually did tear my ACL. But then like that same day or like a day later, the John called me and was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like whatever happened to your knee, like I don't care what happened to your knee, it doesn't matter. Like everything's gonna be fine. We're still gonna sign you. Like if it is bad, like you just like recover and we'll support you through the whole thing. If it's not, then that's fine. Like then whatever, but it doesn't matter. We're just gonna support you through like whatever it is. And so that was like a huge weight lifted off my back because I was like so upset about those two things. And yeah, they basically just like supported me through a whole year of injury, which I think is really cool because like I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think a lot of brands would do something like that where they'll just be like, oh, we'll wait till next year, like when you're back on skis. But like they just were like, don't worry about it. We're in the long run with you. Like let's sign you now and like get you started. And I was like, okay, sounds awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was, and my parents were like, or my dad was like that is so cool of them to do that.
Yeah.
That's why Red Bull's dope.
Yeah, for sure.
Sponsored by Red Bull, baby.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. And then we talked about this briefly before we started recording, but you were here. Have you been to that cliff diving event before in Boston?
Yeah, so that was their second year doing it in Boston this year. They did it in like 2013 or something, right?
Yep.
They did it a long time ago, but they brought it back and did it last year and this year. So I went last year as well.
Nice. It's pretty rad.
It is really cool.
Dude, the weather was better last
Sometime.
year, huh?
Yeah, it was better. This year it was like,
It was like raining and shit, right?
yeah, I was wearing like a jacket and pants. It was still cold. It was real. It was like
Dude, watch
50
those,
degrees and raining.
those guys
and windy.
jump off the ICA is crazy.
Dude, insane.
Well, also they're not allowed to jump with winds over 32 miles per hour, or like they won't. And it was like consistently 25.
Oh god.
Which is like, you can just tell that is just like you're like,
So
okay, so
gnarly.
I guess we can, but nobody, everyone's like, oh my God.
Fuck
you know?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like in our competitions when it's just like windy and there's like, it's the same thing. Like, yeah, we won't ski if the winds are like too bad, but if it's just like a consistent wind downhill, we'll do it. But it still sucks. You're like thinking about it the whole time. Every like in run to the jump, you're looking at the flag. It's just like something you're thinking about, which you don't need to be thinking about.
Dude,
know?
do you like black out when you hit the jump? Like you're coming up and you're gonna do whatever, like a course 16 or whatever. Are you blacking out? Or are you doing
No.
every turn? Dude,
Like
I'm blacking out. if I
Well,
do
like,
that shit. I'm never going to do that
sometimes
shit,
I feel like if the trick, like sometimes I guess, like not spot everything very well, and like the trick doesn't really look that good. But like if you do it really well, you'll like spot like 5 times. You like look at the landing, spin, look at the landing, spin, look at the landing. Like I don't know if you saw Mac Forehand's like 21 at X Games, but when they did the slowed down version of it, he looks at the landing like 8 times.
Every
Like,
spin.
yeah, he like looks and then looks. It's like crazy how many
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
And do spinning that fast and like still get that like look. Sometimes, when I do like the bigger tricks, it's a lot harder to spot.
Yeah. Mac.
But
is
spotting
insane.
helps. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about that Red Bull Cascade event that Bobby Brown.
Yeah, that
Bobby
was
Brown
awesome.
put it on, right?
Yeah, it's Bobby's
sick.
Bobby's baby. But it's super fun. It's like every skier's dream competition. It's like a sick park through like natural features and stuff like that.
It kind of was
They-
like Red Bull Natural Selection. And,
Yeah. I mean, natural selection is definitely like way gnarlier in terms of like big mountain skiing.
Okay.
Like, it's it's basically like a free ride world tour type thing where they just have this huge gnarly face that they like can pick their lines down. Ours was like you can pick your lines down. It was more like park oriented, I would say.
Okay.
But I mean, who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if they keep like trending towards just getting gnarlier and gnarlier with it every year. But this year they did it last year as like a trial event, and it didn't really go anywhere. It was kind of just like a trial for them to see if it would work. And then this year they did it again with like a lot more structure around it, and the weather just didn't play out the way they wanted it to, but it was still really fun because they like couldn't, it was warmer and we were like practicing, or like the first day it was warm and we like practiced through it, and there was like natural features in the woods where we would like put ruts in, and then it hard froze the rest of the time we were there. So it was like really icy in the woods and there was no way to like groom it. And the groomed features were good, but like in the woods it was like,
Yeah, sketchy.
Yeah.
Sketchy as fuck.
yeah.
Word.
But that competition is super sick. Like, and I back any competition that is like different from just a regular slopestyle. Where regular slopestyle, obviously I love doing them. They're super fun, but like Red Bull Cascade, Red Bull Unrealistic, Play Streets, all of those 3 events that I went to this year, I did I did all of them, and they were so much fun.
Yeah.
They were insane.
It's dope.
Did you, how was seeing Andreas Hoffite at Unrealistic?
That was insane.
He
yeah.
was throwing
Oh my
down.
God. Well, he showed up and somebody called it like right when he showed up, and he was like tricking every feature and we were all like doing nothing on them. And somebody was like, he's going to win. And I was like, oh my God, that'd be good. And everyone was rooting for him to win. I wanted him to win the whole time. Like he was 35 and obviously one of the best skiers like ever. And we're all like in our prime competing at like World Cups, X Games, like Olympic medalists, blah, blah, blah. Like he beat Jesper, he beat Ahal, he beat Colby, he beat Henrik.
And he hasn't been like dropping at it.
He's
or,
35,
like,
yeah.
Competing
He has a
recently.
kid.
He
He
just
has a kid
came in
that's,
and
like, 10.
wiped the floor.
Yeah.
Just off the couch.
Yeah.
Sick.
Literally.
He has a kid that's like 10 or something that was there watching.
Jesus.
Yeah. So funny.
That's sick.
Yeah. Well, those were the two events I wanted to talk to you about. The Cascade.
I back those events so hard.
Unrealistic.
They're awesome. Anything that is just like a creative way to have a competition they're so much fun, and they attract a big crowd, and they're just fun to be a part of. And the features are usually sick.
And bring back real ski.
Yeah.
Would be my
Yeah. Bring back real ski would be
suggestion
sweet.
at X Games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't talk too much on real ski because I never competed in it or was a part of it, but I definitely, like everybody, loved watching them so much. Those videos were always like so sick.
It's a shame they got rid of it.
Yeah, definitely.
But yep.
How you feeling, AP?
I feel great. Red Bull's got me buzzing.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Boys are buzzing.
Yeah. Hunter's got me buzzing. It's crazy that, looking at your landing 8 times during a trick. I'm trying to like conceptualize that.
What was that?
Just like doing like a crazy
Like spotting your landing.
spot
Yeah,
your landing 8 fucking times.
No, it's hard.
In the air, bro.
AP is a big. He had a big send this year. He had
Yeah?
he hit
Dude.
like a 35-foot cliff.
Dude, it was like it was
Where?
like 50.
No.
In the backcountry at Jackson.
Jackson.
So
It was
we were at
the peak of his life.
we were-
it was,
we were
it was
at
the peak of my life.
free
too.
skier test at
Oh,
Jackson.
sick.
Us three,
And you got a storm?
Giorgio and Berkowitz.
Dude, it was awesome.
And so so Berkowitz used to sponsor.
Wait, so what does Berkowitz do at Ski Monster right now?
He's like our brand director.
Okay.
So all marketing type stuff. So he used to sponsor a couple guys or a handful of people out in Jackson back when he worked at Fisher. And so those guys have gone and retired now. But when we go out for free skier, they come and meet us, and so we basically have like guides. So they kind of take us all like, and Berkowitz like, oh, let's get some shots or whatever, and they take us to all the spots that they've skied over the last couple days. Like, no, I'll show you where we can get some good stuff.
Yeah.
So we go to this little zone. We kind of ski under it. AP stays high. He doesn't know how big it is.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
And so, and Berkowitz, so he's yelling down. He's like, yo, is it legit? And I'm like, looking at it. I'm like, no. No. And Matt Berkowitz like, yeah, dude, you got this, bro.
Oh,
like,
you're yelling down. Is it legit?
No,
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I couldn't see the landing. I couldn't see what's going on.
Was the landing good or? It was a good landing, but it was just a big cliff.
Dude, it was like
Or what?
3 feet of snow.
That's right. It was kind of flat.
A little flat.
Yeah, it always is though.
Always.
Yeah, always a little flat.
But Matt's always
like,
like,
show him the photo. I know you want to.
dude, he's like, I get it on.
I'll pull it up.
Dude.
And so long story short, AP had the send of his life. Nailed it.
Fucking stomped it, bro.
Stopped it.
Yeah.
Got the shot. Got the photo.
Yeah,
Back was a
dog.
little sore.
Got the photo.
Dude, my knees came up, hit me right in the face. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, fuck, I'm good.
So that was day one. Okay. Fast forward to the end of the trip. Garrett's. We're gonna keep talking about it because it's funny. Garrett's trying
Not funny.
to match AP's air send.
Boosted that shit, right, bro?
That's all my burners.
Yeah, landing does look a little flat.
Oh, yeah.
Came out
But
sick, though.
we just got lucky, dude, because like the snow showed up, and like
Yeah.
later on in the week, what Eric's gonna get into right in like 2 seconds, but the snow just started to like get softer and disappear, and the sun kind of like melted away. So Garrett Gohard's trying to keep up with me because I got the shot in the first day.
I needed to get a good air shot.
I needed to get an air shot.
Like last day, last run.
Last fucking day.
We're in the backcountry, and like there's like this little diving board feature, and same. He's like, yo, I got this, and
Matt's yelling like,
Matt's
yeah,
yelling,
dude, it's
dude.
fine. Me and Eric are on the top looking down, and I remember looking at you. You're like, what the, dude? No fucking way.
yeah,
Dude.
and he hit it, exploded, and broke his ankle.
This year.
Yeah.
In
This
February.
March.
Yeah.
This beginning of March.
But kudos to
we
Garrett.
good now.
He skied out of there on 1 foot.
Death before
Yeah,
sled,
that's
dude.
sick.
It was, dude.
Death before dishonor.
It was
He
it was
skied out.
impressive.
He went through the Hobacks all the way, and then we went to the ski patrol, and me and the ski patroller took the boot off, dude.
Oh my god. Did you
Dude, blew the fuck up. You're like, holy shit.
It was so swollen, and
He's
I was
like-
like, dude, I don't think it's broken.
I'm like, yo, it's fine.
That's why we have that eye walk right there. Garrett was he bought that thing because he was in a boot for he was on crutches for.
sick?
Dude, that thing's a relic at this point. So my doctor told me to get that. He was like, "You're a skier, like you'll have good enough balance to be able to use this thing and like maneuver it." I ordered it. It was like $100, and I get it, and I'm like, this thing is so goddamn sketchy to walk on.
Is it?
Yeah, I never used it. It's too sketchy to walk on.
Yeah.
But
Well, can you make it taller for yourself? You must be able
it's
to.
not tall enough too.
Oh, you can't
Yeah,
even make it
it's-
tall
it's-
enough.
it's at
Well,
the
that would
max
make it
setting.
sketchy.
Yeah,
I feel
true.
like if it's
They don't make gargantuan
like-
size.
Dude,
Wow.
it doesn't come in unit size, dude.
It does not,
Yeah.
dude.
Crazy.
It's like,
So yeah, that AP we had to give him that because he's been buzzing since that cliff hook.
You know, you
yeah.
just like you
He's-
land
he's
something,
glowing, you
you
know?
hit something, you know, like
Yeah.
you're doing a half pipe and you're doing what the fuck do you like a dub fucking
yeah,
yeah,
12.
dude, same shit. You know, like, yeah.
same
know,
exact
Same
thing.
exact thing, dude. That's why we ski, dude.
Yeah.
Like you get the fucking buzz and you're like, this sport's awesome.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Dude, so I
Chasing
know
that every day.
yeah, dude.
I know they're all your homies, but what skiers are you looking up to right now? Like, which ones are you most stoked on?
That's a good question. I mean, I spend a lot of time with A-Hall just because we're traveling around with him so much.
He's a
And
machine.
yeah, and he's just he's just killing it right now. I mean, he's always killing it, but like he's so like creative in the way he skis, and he just dominates in like all aspects. Like you put him in the streets, he kills it. You put him in the park, in the pipe, in backcountry. I think he's like one of the best. Personally, I think he's one of the most well-rounded skiers. So I'm definitely looking up to him a bunch and like hanging out with him a bunch, which is really cool. And then aside from him, I would say, yeah, I mean, all my teammates are like killing it right now. So like, yeah, everybody on the US team, like Colby, Mac, Cody, Connor,
Yep.
everybody's, it's like we have a really, really good group right now, like all traveling and skiing together, which is really fun because we're all good friends as well. So it's definitely been a fun year, and it's going to be a fun few years ahead. I'm trying to think of somebody else that I've been really liking watching. I mean, my all-time favorite is Oystein Broughton. He's been like my favorite since
Hell yeah.
since like 13 or 14. But he hasn't really been skiing that much anymore. But I'll still go back and like watch his old videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, dude, the talent's crazy on the team, huh?
Yeah,
You
right
know,
now
guys?
on
Holy
the
shit.
US team.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have a bunch of really good skiers.
So that obviously,
I mean,
like,
always US does, but like I would
Yeah.
say right now, everybody's
Yeah.
how many slots like for slopestyle are there in the Olympics? For
four.
you guys? Four.
Four guys.
Four of
girls.
those guys.
Yeah, so I think there's like 6 of us right now. So two. It's usually like that. It's usually
And there's
6.
two
and-
alternates
and-
maybe or something.
Yeah, 2 alternates. Yeah.
Sick.
Mm-hmm.
Dope.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that'd be dope if you qualify, man.
Yeah. That's definitely the goal. I mean, like I said, like skiing and competing, the World Cups, and hopefully X Games soon too is a high priority as well. But I meant to say this earlier, but I didn't. Is like moving right now. That's high priority, but also like I never want to stop skiing, and I always want that to be like an option for to be able to travel and ski all over the world for as long as I possibly can. So like moving into the backcountry right now when I have my free time to like start to hone in my skills back there and get experience, because like what a lot of people don't realize is how, I mean, even I don't realize it because I haven't really been back there that much, but like it takes a lot of experience to really like be dialed in the backcountry. And so like starting it as soon as I possibly can is something I want to do and like get in there and get used to it. And then eventually as like I start to move out of slopestyle skiing when I'm like 28, 30 or whatever, however long I stay in. Yeah. Whenever
27 is not old.
yeah. Whenever that time comes, I want to be able to like move into backcountry and be ready to like charge.
Sick. Would you go like on the tour, like the free ride world tour?
Who knows?
That'd be
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, a good friend just did that. Finn
Yeah.
Billis. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
he was a slopestyle skier for a long time, and then kind of was just getting tired of it. I mean, it was just progressing at like a rate that was like kind of dangerous and like something that wasn't really stoking him out that much, and he was ready to move into something that was more made him happy, which was riding the mountain and hitting sick lines. And he's definitely one of my favorite skiers on the Freeride World Tour. Maybe I'm biased, but I think he crushes it.
Dude, those events are so much fun to watch.
Yeah, they're insane.
It's crazy, bro.
They're insane.
The
And
lines
like
they pick out.
it's so hard to like get like a grasp of how big the stuff they're actually hitting is.
For sure.
Or like how gnarly it is. Like they don't really show like POV that much, but you can't see anything. And all the rocks look the same.
Yeah.
And one's like 15 feet and one's like 80. And you're like, go this one.
No, and when you watch the video of it, it doesn't do it.
No, not
justice
at all.
at
I mean,
all.
most things in skiing don't though. Like even street skiing, you see a rail. I remember when I was a kid, I would see somebody hit a rail and then do like a front two out, and I'd be like, oh, I can do front twos. Like I can do that. And then like you actually like look at the rail that they hit or something, or you see it in person, you're like, oh my God, I would die.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
like it's not just, it's like, I remember doing that a ton as a kid watching ski movies. I'm like, oh, I could easily do this. Like I can do front twos on, I can do twos, I can do like a back swap, whatever. I go, I got this. And then you see the rail and it's like you fall into like a river or something.
Yeah.
You fall off like a 50
Jagged
foot.
rocks. You literally fall off a parking garage.
I was looking at this like ledge DFD on the way over here, which you couldn't hit because it was like there's like tons of cracks in it, whatever. But it like lands on the dock by
Like in Charlestown?
yeah, and on the walk over like on like in front of the garden, I think there's like a DFD, and like if you jump to the right, you land in the water. If you jump to the left, you land like on the dock. And I was like, it'd be so funny to like, just, like purposely dive into the water.
Isn't it funny? Like growing up in this life, you're just always searching for urban rails.
Yeah,
It's
always.
like-
Or like skiing, or just like sitting in the car, like the Tom Walsh Imagination video or whatever.
yeah,
like
yeah.
I would always like sit there with my like not even my fingers, like just like watching out the window and just like jumping from over like driveway to driveway, like every time. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, dude, this is awesome. Stoked that you came through.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys had me. It was super fun.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think we covered it all, dude. That was good.
Yeah.
You got to chop it up, AP.
Yeah.
We got to drink some Red Bulls.
Sick. I feel good for the rest of the day now because this thing's going to keep me going.
Yeah, dude, when we were at like a Red Bull event of any kind, and these you can't escape these.
Oh, no.
They're everywhere. They're like
Everywhere.
Wait, do you,
outside your room. They're like they're just like the
Yeah.
plate, and you're like, oops, you know, they're
can
everywhere.
you like
So-
fill
so
them
the-
up with water or some shit, bro?
You
Probably can't say that.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
What are you doing?
they have water bottles. There's like Rebel water bottles.
So this dude Mitch, he works at Ski Monster. He's good shit, and he went to some skate camp. I can't remember. Was it
Woodward?
Was it Woodward?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Like
So-
Woodward, Midwest, or whatever, the one in
Pennsylvania one.
Yeah, so he went when I think he was like 13 or something like that, 12, and he's like, as soon as we get there, they don't let anybody skate the first day because like everyone's all hopped up, everyone wants to skate, everyone wants to like show everybody that they can fucking ride. But he's like out of like safety because they're like they want everyone to kind of acclimate, like calm down, like don't want no one skating the first day, like kind of
Kids
just like
probably get so worked there.
right. So
yeah.
So so instead of skating, they did like a kickflip contest. So they're like, whoever can do is the most amount of kickflips in like 5 or whatever it was, 5 minutes, something like that, gets unlimited Red Bull for the whole time that you're here.
Jesus.
And Mitch won. 13-year-old. He goes, you know what kind of fucked up shit happens through your head when you give it a 13-year-old unlimited Red Bull for 5 days straight? He goes, by the time I left, I was twisted, bro. I was twisted.
That makes sense.
I
man.
actually have a very important question that I'm happy I remembered. Best park on the east, and why is it Loon?
Right now, like this year.
Yeah.
Well, I only skied Loon, Sunday River, Waterville this year. That's all I skied this year. But Loon is definitely killing it for sure. I stopped by on after I was like doing some ski east stuff. I was like driving past, and I wasn't even planning to go skiing at Loon, but I was like driving past and it looked so fun, and then I was like, oh, I want to go skiing. I was like, oh, I have all my stuff in the car, and just like randomly like off the thing and skied for a couple hours there, and it was super fun.
Yeah.
And then I think Corinthia definitely has one of the best parks for sure.
I'm just kidding. No.
I haven't. Yeah, I mean it's
Sick.
Corinthia and Loon, and Sunday River did a really good job when we were there as well. They it's more of like the park. When the park is good, but then also like you go and meet the people that are like running the park, and they're just so down to like build whatever you want and like want your feedback, and they like don't think that like they're the shit and they know like what's going on.
Everything.
They just like they want to learn and like hear feedback and be like, how do you like, what should we do? Like what can we do to make this jump better? Like blah blah blah. What feature should we put in? And then you tell them, and then it's there the next day, or like they're like working on it, and it's like so sick. And Sunday River is definitely making that happen.
Are you
for
sure
us.
that's not just the power of a Red Bull helmet?
Yeah, I know. Could be a little bit of that, but
You're also a Loon homer to the day you die. So
100%, dude.
Yeah.
Yo, do you ever go like South America?
no, never been to Never in South America, but I'm going to Australia, New Zealand in in August.
Sick. So
Yeah.
you go to Whistler on Monday.
Yeah, Whistler on Monday for like 10 days. We have like a US team training camp there, and then I'll come back to the East Coast. I'm going to the Jersey Shore for a bit for the 4th of July.
Sick.
Dope.
But then going back out west to Woodward Copper, and I'm being like a guest pro there for the week, which is super fun because I can like invite a couple friends and they give us a condo and we'll go stay there, and then we'll like
Sick.
play kickball with the kids or like play dodgeball, which is hilarious. Just like chucking,
Pegging
just,
kids.
yeah, just ruining them.
Doming them.
Yeah,
Prison ball, dude.
Free range.
yeah.
Dead kids.
Well, it's just so funny where it's like you are doing that, and then somebody smokes a kid in the face, and everyone's like, "You dick!"
Yeah,
We're all doing it.
You got to do it.
Yeah,
Bad day. You're like, all right, counselors versus kids, line up.
yeah.
Now you're all in big trouble.
Now you're all in.
I was a camp
big
counselor for a
trouble.
few summers. That was my favorite thing to do. Prison ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, all right, like a bunch of 5th or 6th graders. Like, you had like a rough morning. You're like,
Yeah.
all right, after lunch, fucking prison ball.
But they honestly think though
Line
they can
'em up.
beat you up. Like the 5th graders think they can.
Oh
win.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude, they're like in their head, like, oh, dude, we got this.
yeah.
Idiots.
All right,
Yeah, well, I'll go do that in at Woodward Copper for a week, which will be super fun, and then I'll have most of August off.
nice man.
Cool. Dope.
All right, that was awesome, Hunter. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's wrap there, and yeah, drink Red Bull, ski vocals, and Dub L's and Oakleys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all those things. All right, peace, y'all.